Hey guys, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Explicably Inexplicables. I'm Arnav.
And I'm Nikhil, and today we're diving deep into the world of healthcare technology and how it's revolutionizing patient care and the healthcare system.
Yep, the healthcare industry is going through a very remarkable transition right now, thanks to technological innovations in this field. And I think it's important to start discussing with one of its most significant advancements, which is telemedicine.
Right, so telemedicine has been something that has grown exponentially, especially since the COVID-19 pandemic, right, a few years ago. And so it's changed the way that patients can access healthcare, because what it's done is basically patients can now consult with doctors and specialists from the comfort of their homes, right? That's the whole point, that they can talk online with their doctors. And so obviously this saves those patients a lot of times, right? A lot of time. And if you're not in an area that's highly populated or traditionally has access to a lot of those hospitals in person, you can actually talk with someone now, right?
Yeah, I think a very prominent example of how telemedicine is used is actually about a year ago. This is like peak COVID. My friend actually got COVID and he really needed to see a doctor because it was pretty serious at the time for his case. And obviously at the time the doctor wasn't available. I think she was in Florida or something. But he needed to see her right then and there. So what they did was they had a little call up. They called her up and it literally 10 minutes. She told her, this is what you have to do. You have to do A, B, C, and D. You have to take these medicines, do this, and he was better in a couple days. And so I think that access, the whole point of limited access to medical resources is because of proximity, and through telemedicine that problem is taken away. So I think that's very important in how it's changing the healthcare industry today.
And it's not just through calling, right, and telemedicine, but also accessibility has been improved by wearable devices, right? So things have come out, especially in the past few years or even the past decade, like Fitbits, Apple Watches, etc., right? All these things really allow you to track your physical activity, track your health, right? Monitor your vital signs, right? If you have an Apple Watch or even a Fitbit, you can see your heart rate. You can see your heart rate when it's resting, your heart rate when it's active. You can see a summary of all that, etc., right? And that'll help you detect like irregularities in real time, right? Like obviously if your heart rate is like, I don't know, 200, that's an extreme case, or like even like 150 when it's resting, that's maybe something you want to check out with the doctor, because that's maybe not normal.
I think almost the very first example we saw of this was the Fitbit back in like when we were in elementary school.
Yeah.
Like I was like probably like 10 years ago or something when the first Fitbit came out. I don't recall exactly, but 7 years ago, whatever. That's when people were first like, wait, I can count how many steps I'm doing, and people started using that as like motivation. Okay, I'm at 5,000 steps today. I need to get to 10,000.
Right, helps you set goals for yourself.
Exactly,
sure.
And that was like the very first innovation in technology in the healthcare industry on like a wearable device. And since then, now we have Apple Watches with, like what Nikhil said, all these different factors, things that can help you out. And I think that innovation in this field is crazy, and it's just, we're just here to see what more is in store for us in the future. But that's technology in terms of like wearable devices or just technology with telemedicine. But what about AI?
Yeah, I know AI has definitely had a big impact in really everything, but especially in healthcare. And I think that's something that's not often talked about. Everyone's kind of thinking about just using AI just for your own personal resource, right? Through ChatGPT or whatever it is, just asking your own personal questions or whatever, or even just impacting the business field. But healthcare is also something that needs to be talked about. So companies like IBM Watson are using artificial intelligence to help doctors with diagnosing diseases, right? Like I said, right? You can use it to ask questions. It has resources, and it's very knowledgeable to a certain extent. And so I think something that it's really helped with a lot, I think I was researching the other day, that it actually helps in treatment planning as well, right? So what I found out is that it can actually analyze vast amounts of medical data and assist doctors in making more accurate and timely decisions, right? So obviously this is going to improve both the quality, the efficiency, and just making sure that this is done within a certain time frame. And that's something that's very big in the medical field, right? Because if you're like in the middle of surgery, like you can't be in there for like 24 hours, or if it's something that needs to be done right then and there, it needs to be done right then and there. And so that time aspect is important.
This reduces like the burden on healthcare professionals, and just it makes everything so much easier overall. And that's like AI in terms of like you said, surgery. there's also like robotics, right? There's the Da Vinci robot where they've used it for surgery, and like I guess it started with doing surgery on a grape, but that can easily turn into like doing surgery on like a real life human being with lives at stake, which just makes human error so much less. The human error. The whole problem with healthcare and surgery is the fact that human error is such a big thing, and with robots and with automation, that problem goes away. And I think that's what's so important to consider with technology in the upcoming health industry and the ever-changing field.
For sure.
I think that's about robotics and AI, but what about genomics?
Yes, I mean, genomics is something that kind of allows for personalized medicine, right? So what it does is, it tailors to people's specific genetic makeup, right? So obviously, not to be really racist or stereotypical, but certain races and certain people from different backgrounds actually have different medical issues. Like for example, I was researching the other day, and there's a certain heart rate for every single person that's from a different area in the world that's considered okay, or like there's a certain blood pressure that they can survive at.
That's very interesting, actually.
Yeah, and so some people, right, they're more likely to have a stroke at let's say at a certain blood pressure than someone of a different race. And so it's actually very important for the doctors to tailor that, to that specific person's needs, right? And so companies like 23andMe and Ancestry DNA are making DNA testing accessible to the public. Obviously, that's really important, right? If you have more than one ancestral background, right? And even beyond ancestry, these tests can provide insights into potential health risks and help individuals make kind of more like informed decisions about their health.
And I think that's how technology can truly improve in this area. But this is the present. Let's talk more about the future, right? The future of healthcare technology. What are some like emerging trends that could reshape our healthcare system?
So one big thing I heard about was actually this thing called remote patient monitoring. That's been growing a lot lately, and that's basically just devices that can basically help track a patient's health, right? And basically this allows for not only early detection of health issues, right, but it also reduces hospital admissions and healthcare costs, right? So like for example, imagine having cancer or something, but you didn't find out until it has elevated to like stage 3, stage 4, right? But imagine with these devices you could have found it at stage 1 or stage 2. Right, and that's definitely something that can really impact the lives of many people. And something I've heard of is, blockchain technology. I know we've talked about this in a previous episode, but that's something that actually has applications in the healthcare field as well. So I guess how does that fit into the picture here?
Yeah, let me just first preface by saying, people imagining that blockchain technology could have like even a small impact in healthcare is just crazy to me to think about, but it's very much a reality. Like blockchain has the potential to revolutionize healthcare data management, and it can secure patient records, ensure data integrity, and even enable patients to have more control over who accesses their medical information, which is really important to some people in terms of privacy. And I think it's just a greater transparency and security in the healthcare system. And it's crazy how innovations like blockchain technology can even have an impact in the healthcare industry, something we wouldn't even have imagined like 15, 20 years ago.
For sure. I think, overall it's very evident that this technology is driving significant change in the healthcare industry, right? From that telemedicine to wearables, AI, genomics, blockchain, etc. The possibilities are endless, I think. And so I think the future of healthcare looks promising, right? With improved patient care, reduced costs and all that. And so with that said, we hope this episode has provided you a glimpse into the exciting world of tech and healthcare.
100%. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay tuned for more Explicably Inexplicables. Peace.